I have this Boland's MTD weed trimmer, string trimmer, BL110. And if you come around here on this side, it'd be kind of hard for you to see perhaps, but I can get serial number and model number, or item number, which is the number that's important for what the story I'm about to tell you. Because I need to order parts for this. Pretty simple, actually. This little bulb right here, primer bulb right here, as you can see, basically is degraded and come apart here. So I need to replace that plastic bulb. And pretty simple job. It's basically 2 screws. This piece lifts off the carburetor, and then you can remove that little bulb out of there and replace it with a new one. So I took the numbers off this machine and I went on to the MTD Parts Canada store, because I'm in Canada, and punched in my numbers, and they said, oh, you need one of these. This is guaranteed to fit. If you look on their website and you punch in the numbers, the item number that's on this machine. I tried the serial number, I tried the model number, and I couldn't find anything. I put in the item number. This popped up, as well as other parts for this machine. Including an air filter, which I also ordered, and it looks correct. But this little thing they sent me, there's the bulb and a couple of hoses, which looks nice, because I'm going to have to... These hoses actually, I think, are integrated with this fuel tank. You can buy this fuel tank with the number that I punched in, and it comes with the hoses, and it looks exactly like this. You can get the cap for it, you can get the tank, all of that kind of thing. You can get a whole new carburetor for this for like $30 or $40, which is pretty cheap. But this piece here, this is what returned. But look, I am 99% certain, and we're going to prove it in this video, that this is the incorrect style. Okay, those little plastic bits, I got 2 little clips where it's supposed to go down inside of something and clip in. I don't have that little plastic clippy doodad. Mine screws on. Mine is held in by a retaining plate of sorts. So I'm pretty sure this is wrong, even though their website said, yes, it will 100% work with your machine. So what we're going to do is take a minute. I'm just going to take this apart and show you that, and confirm that this that they sent me is the wrong part. So let's do that now. Yep, it's the wrong part. Let me show you here. See if I can do this without getting fuel all over my phone here. Let me zoom out. All right. So here is the piece that comes off of that, and you can see that all I have is just a plastic little button here, and this goes right down into a little groove, and then this piece screws on over the top of it. Actually, there's only one way that goes on to get the holes to line up. And then the siphoning bit comes from this little gasket, which I may have to get a new one of those now that I've monkeyed with this a little bit. Yeah, that's what, when you press this, it messes with the pressure. I don't exactly know which way, so that you've got maybe air going out, or whatever fuel may be in there going out of one of those tubes into the fuel tank, and then when you let off the button, it siphons some or sucks some back up into the carburetor to prime it. So let me show you, just by way of comparison, what they gave me with what I've got here. Here's what they gave me, the little clips. Here's what I've got. It's clearly a different style. So this does not fit. Let me show you the part number. This does not fit the weed trimmer that I have. And I'll superimpose the item number, serial number, and model number on the screen here with this so that you can see that this does not work with that. I find it really frustrating when you can find the parts online, which sometimes now is a challenge in and of itself. It actually took me quite a while to be able to find the parts. Of course, first I found them on US websites, and I'm now in Canada. And so it took me a minute to find even the MTD Parts website in Canada. And then once you figure out their system and what number gets punched into what part of the form, and you click submit, it does the search, it comes up and it gives you a listing of all the parts for your machine. And it says on each one of those parts that they fit exactly that machine. You go through the hassle of, creating the account on the website, putting in all your shipping information, putting in, of course, your credit card information and all these kinds of things. They ship it to you. You get it here. If you're like me, you're working, you got a normal job, and so the weekend comes a few days later, and then you start looking at everything and you realize that's not going to work. So now I have to call them and get a return merchandise number. Authorization number. So I call the 800 number, and they're not open on Saturdays. It's frustrating. When the website tells you that it should fit, then it should fit. I don't know if the problem is, data entry somewhere along the line. I do know one problem is that, parts, these machines, this companies, MTD, I think is now, I don't know who owns MTD. It's also branded a Boland's. When I was searching parts for it, as it turns out, even the part that I got in the packet says that the thing will work for MTD, it'll work for Cub Cadet, it'll work for Craftsman. So this is a giant company that's bringing all of these companies, other companies together, and all of their parts inventories together, and trying to get all of their database entries for these things synchronized, etc. And so I understand there's going to be errors involved when that happens. I remember growing up, and when the chainsaw broke, or the lawnmower had a problem, or we needed parts for the weed trimmers or whatnot, I would get in the pickup with my dad. We would drive to the nearest town that had an actual parts store, like you would physically go in a store. And you would say, you'd take the broken piece with you, you'd put it on the counter, you'd say, this came out of that, so I need that. Usually the person behind the counter would look at it, and within just a few seconds of looking at it, go, oh yeah, I know exactly what you need. They'd go find it on the shelf, bring it to you, they'd pull it out of the container, compare right there on the spot. Yep, that's the replacement, that's what you need. Then they'd ring it up, you'd pay for it and go. I know those days are long gone, and I hate to be that guy that sort of reminisces for those sorts of old days. But man, I really miss being able to just go to a local shop or a local store and saying, hey, this is what I need. And they had it in stock. And it always seemed to work. Or if they didn't have it, you went to the next biggest town. I grew up in the middle of nowhere in Iowa, so you'd go maybe into Des Moines or something. Find a place, buy it. Those were the days. Those were the days. When I was young, never thought I'd say that, but now that I'm older, those were the days. Well, I hope this is helpful for you, and you can at least see the kinds of dilemmas that I've run into on occasion. I'm sure you have as well. And I hope that you've indulged me a few minutes to sort of complain about the way that these systems work. They don't work. At least most of the time I found that there's always some weird thing like this that happens. And then it becomes a bit of a pain to have to repackage all of this and get the RMA number and then ship it back on my own dime Maybe they'll pay for the return shipping. I don't know yet. They're not open today, so I can't actually ask them that question. All right, I'm done. Hope this was helpful. Thanks.